So the film begins with Yelena, who works as a secret agent under CIA Director Valentina. But despite this, she feels like her life has no purpose. She feels as though she's living in a void, a world filled with nothing but darkness. This emptiness stems from the loss of her sister, whose grief she carries deep in her heart. We then see Valentina at a press conference. She's under fire for allegedly conducting illegal experiments to turn humans into superhumans. In her defense, Valentina simply says, "I'm only trying to save this world because the Avengers won't be coming to save us anymore." The court decides that every institution under Valentina must be investigated. Only after that will her punishment or clearance be decided. Cut to Yelena, now at a research center in Malaysia. She's there to eliminate evidence linking Valentina to the experiments. This is the last remaining lab, as all others run by Valentina have already been destroyed by CIA agents. Yelena terrifies the scientist there so much that he ends up taking his own life. After that, she exits the building and blows it up with a remote-controlled bomb. Mission complete, Yelena visits her stepfather, Alexei, and tells him about her miserable life. Alexei advises her, "Why don't you take on missions that actually have meaning, missions that help people and earn their appreciation?" Yelena takes his advice to heart. She speaks to her boss and says, "I don't want to do secret missions anymore. From now on, I want my missions to be in the open." Valentina agrees, but on one condition: she must complete one final secret mission. After that, she's free. Valentina gives her the address of a secret vault and tells her that an agent named Ava Starr is inside. Ava has the ability to turn invisible and is currently stealing their classified research. Yelena is told to stop her and eliminate her if necessary. Yelena agrees and is soon seen approaching the vault, but once inside, she finds no trace of Ava. Instead, she's attacked by a boy named John. Then, another agent enters and attacks John. Meanwhile, Ava suddenly appears and kills the third agent. Yelena is completely confused by the situation. Suddenly, a frightened boy appears and all the vault doors lock shut. It's then that Yelena realizes Valentina has betrayed her. Valentina used these agents to destroy all evidence against her, and now wants to kill them too, as they know the truth. Yelena tells the others, "Valentina set us up. She wants us to kill each other." Yelena, John, and the frightened boy, whose name is later revealed as Bob, are now trapped inside the vault. Ava tries to phase through the walls, but even she is caught in a trap. A sonic barrier prevents her from escaping. Outside, Valentina is shown giving the order to blow up the vault. Inside, the team scrambles to escape. Yelena devises a plan. First, they'll disable the sound barrier so Ava can phase out and open the vault doors. Just as Valentina activates a countdown on a bomb, the group locates the barrier's battery and shuts it down. Ava phases out, opens the vault doors, and rescues the others. When Valentina learns they're still alive, she immediately issues a kill order. On CCTV, she spots Bob, someone she didn't recognize. She instructs her assistant to find out who he is and sends more agents after them. What she doesn't know is that her current driver is actually Yelena's stepfather, Alexei, who already knows the vault's location and her entire plan. Back in the vault, John questions Bob, "What are you doing here?" Bob replies, "I don't remember anything. I just recall donating blood for a medical study. After that, I woke up in front of you all." John suspects Bob is lying and starts beating him. Yelena stops the fight, saying, "This can't go on. If we want to get out, we need to work together." Using his strength, John breaks through a wall to reach the elevator shaft, but the lift isn't working due to a power cut. He suggests they climb up by linking themselves together. Meanwhile, Valentina learns Bob was one of her test subjects. As far as she knew, all the others had died. Now she realizes Bob is a success. The group makes it to the top, only to see Valentina's forces closing in. Valentina instructs her men to capture them alive. She blasts a small section of the entrance and enters the vault herself. Inside, Yelena tells Bob, "If you want to stay alive, stay behind me." Bob, looking worried, says, "Maybe this is all happening because of something I did wrong." Yelena replies, "Don't think like that. We've all suffered or done things we regret." As they talk, enemies break in. They hear sounds of fighting, only to discover John has already taken them all down. Valentina sends another wave of agents. This time, Yelena, an elite fighter, protects Bob and eliminates the attackers. John rejoins them and they make their way toward an escape vehicle. Yelena disguises herself in one of the guards' uniforms. They almost make it out, but a guard stops them. A fight breaks out between John and the guard. Bob, stepping out of the car, fires a shot into the air to get everyone's attention. He wants to say something, but the guards think he's a threat and open fire. Valentina yells at them to stop. She wants to observe her experiment, but it's too late. Bob is shot multiple times and collapses. Yelena and John are devastated. They take advantage of the chaos to escape. Then we see Bob again. Somehow still alive, his wounds healing completely. The soldiers shoot him again, but this time he blasts off into the air like a rocket. Hovering in the clouds, he seems deep in thought, until he suddenly faints. He crashes down so fast that the impact flips Yelena and John's car. Yelena, John, and Ava stare at him in awe, shocked by his power. Then John revealed that Bob was actually the result of Valentina's superhuman experiment. He confessed that he had come to the vault to destroy all evidence related to it. Everyone was shocked to hear this. Meanwhile, the next morning, Valentina ordered her assistant to capture Bob alive. But at the same time, she gave the order to have the other three agents, flawed, Yelena, John, and Ava, killed. Alexei also arrived that morning. Yelena was surprised to see him, but Alexei explained, "I overheard Valentina's plan to kill all of you. From her words, I also figured out the location of this vault. Your life was in danger, and I had to come warn you." He had known about the plan since the day before. They were about to escape in Alexei's car when Valentina's men arrived and started shooting. John tried to protect them using his shield, but it had stopped working. They would have been killed if a mysterious figure hadn't appeared from behind and shot at Valentina's men, destroying their vehicles. The scene shifts to Valentina and Bob in a watchtower. Bob was visibly distressed by everything happening. Seeing Valentina only scared him more, and he began shouting at her. But Valentina calmly said, "I've turned your boring life into something extraordinary. You now have the power of 100 people. You can do anything." As she touched his hand, something strange happened. She was transported into a dark mental void. There, she relived her childhood trauma, the moment her enemies shot and killed her father. She quickly pulled her hand away and instructed her assistant to arrange a press conference. Meanwhile, we see the man who had helped the four escape now holding them at a secure location. He told them, "You have to testify against Valentina." The group agreed, but insisted, "Let us go for now. We have to stop her first." They told him everything about Valentina's experiments and how Bob had become the most powerful subject. Still, the man didn't fully believe them until he got a call from Valentina's assistant. The assistant told him that Valentina was about to hold a press conference about Bob. That's when the man realized Valentina had created something truly dangerous, a threat to the world. He turned to the group and asked, "Will you help me stop Valentina and Bob?" His name was Bucky. Yelena replied, "We're not like you, Bucky. We're not heroes. How can we do this?" Bucky responded, "I was just like you once. I've done horrible things, but I turned my life around. I chose to do good. If you stand with me, you can live with your heads held high." Inspired, they agreed to help him. Meanwhile, Valentina was training Bob, teaching him how to control his powers with his mind and body. At the same time, Yelena, John, Ava, and Bucky reached the watchtower to confront her. They fought through Valentina's guards. Then they heard her voice through a speaker. "Come up. I've been expecting you." When they reached the top, they saw Bob standing in a new uniform. Valentina proudly announced, "This is Bob, more powerful than 10 Avengers combined. I've named him Sentry." She said she had invited them here for a reason, because she was about to hold a press conference. And during the conference, Sentry would fight them to showcase his powers. Once he did, all the charges against her would be lifted. Yelena was horrified. She tried to talk to Sentry, pleading, "Don't do this." But he tried to convince her instead, "You should join Valentina. We can make a difference." Alexei, furious, charged at Sentry, but with just a light push, Sentry sent him crashing into a wall. The rest of the team attacked together. But Sentry raised a single hand and knocked them all back effortlessly. Seeing this, Yelena realized that even as a team, they couldn't defeat him. To conserve their strength, they decided to retreat. Valentina ordered Sentry, "Go after them. Kill them one by one." But Sentry refused. They don't pose any threat to me, he said. I won't obey your command. You want them dead? That's your problem, but I won't kill them. Down below, Yelena and her friends regrouped. Yelena felt defeated. She looked around and said bitterly, "We're all losers." Then she walked away. Alexei, however, followed her, hoping to convince her to come back. Meanwhile, Sentry began feeling the full extent of his power and started to believe he was a god. Valentina noticed this change and realized he was becoming a threat to her. So she reached for the kill switch to shut him down, but Sentry sensed her move. Before she could press it, he grabbed her by the neck, choking her. The kill switch slipped from her hand. Just as she was about to die, her assistant picked it up and pressed the button. Sentry instantly vanished, not dead, but transported into the void, a dimension of shadows and negativity. His existence became ghost-like, a shadow cast over reality. High above the world, he flew. When a guard tried to shoot him, Sentry simply gestured, turning the man into a shadow. A helicopter approached, ready to attack. Sentry destroyed it, turning its crew into shadows. The crashing helicopter hit a nearby building, causing it to collapse. Innocent lives were at risk. Yelena and her team immediately stepped up. They helped evacuate the building, clearing debris and saving lives. Their heroism earned applause from the people. They finally made a place in their hearts. The group felt a deep sense of purpose, but the danger wasn't over. Sentry began infecting others with his darkness, turning people into shadows. His negativity was spreading like a plague. Yelena realized that defeating him physically wasn't possible, so she made a bold decision. She surrendered herself to the void. She became a shadow. Alexei was devastated. Inside the void, Yelena began searching for Bob, but instead she was forced to confront her darkest memories. She relived the moment she had caused a little girl's death. The guilt consumed her. Even after escaping that memory, more painful memories followed. Still, she searched for Bob. Finally, she found him, isolated in one of his own memories. She asked, "Why didn't you stop all of this?" Bob replied, "It's not me. It's the darkness inside me, the loneliness. It became part of who I am." Yelena saw his past, his father abusing him, the pain, the abandonment. She sat beside him and held his hand. But just as they connected, the negativity began to attack them. It nearly consumed them both. At that moment, the rest of the team arrived. They had also entered the void, each having faced their own past. Together, they saved Bob and Yelena. They decided to help Bob confront his ultimate trauma, the day he became Sentry. In the void, they arrived at the memory of Valentina's lab. Bob lay on the table, subjected to cruel experiments, but they didn't find Bob there. They found his darkness, the twisted reflection of him. Bob stepped forward to fight it. He raged, hitting it with all his strength, but with every strike, he became darker, closer to becoming the void itself. Just before he was lost forever, Yelena reached out, pulling him back. She reminded him, "You're not alone. We're with you." One by one, the others echoed the same. Their unity, their courage, it gave Bob hope. As Bob realized he was not alone, the negativity began to fade. The void collapsed. The shadowy version of him vanished. The darkness he had unleashed on the world began to lift. Those turned into shadows returned to human form. Light returned to the city. Bob had forgotten much of what had happened, his memory damaged by trauma. But now, with the group around him, he was free. Together, they turned their focus to Valentina. They found her behind a curtain. Yelena approached, ready to finish her. But then the curtain rose. Valentina was hosting a press conference. To everyone's shock, she presented Yelena and her team to the world as the new Avengers. Smiling, she declared, "All the accusations against me were false. I've been building toward this for years." Yelena saw through her manipulation. But she didn't stop her. Instead, she stood tall, knowing she and her team had earned the people's love. She warned Valentina, "You may have fooled them today, but we're watching." Valentina smiled, defeated but defiant. For now, peace had returned. As the movie ended, a signal appeared on a satellite screen. A new global threat had emerged, and the new Avengers would rise to face it. The end.